Nobody saw it coming. Rasheeda walked into that courtroom thinking the divorce hearing was going to be her moment. Her chance to finally free herself from Kirk Frost after years of betrayal, humiliation, and scandal. Cameras were flashing. Fans were waiting outside. The tension was already unbearable. But then the doors opened. And who walked in, uninvited, unannounced, and completely unprepared for the chaos she was about to unleash? Jasmine Washington, the very woman at the center of Rasheeda and Kirk's broken marriage. The woman who became the face of betrayal in Atlanta. The one Rasheeda swore she'd never forgive. Jasmine appeared in that courtroom like a ghost from the past, ready to twist the knife even deeper. The crowd gasped. Rasheeda froze. Even Kirk looked like he'd seen a ghost. But Jasmine didn't just show up to spectate. No, she came armed with a bombshell revelation that sent the entire hearing into a frenzy. Court officials scrambled to control the scene. Lawyers nearly lost their composure. And Rasheeda. She was left in tears, realizing that this divorce wasn't the end of her nightmare. It was just the beginning. And what Jasmine revealed in that courtroom wasn't just shocking, it was devastating. For years, Rasheeda Frost has been fighting a battle that fans of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta know all too well. She's the resilient wife, the businesswoman, the woman who has stood by Kirk Frost through every storm, from cheating rumors to secret children to public humiliation. Each time fans begged her to walk away, but Rasheeda tried to keep her family together, to hold on to the marriage that became more of a battlefield than a partnership. But finally, enough was enough. After endless betrayals, Rasheeda filed for divorce. The hearing was supposed to mark her first real step toward freedom. Her supporters flooded social media with encouragement, ready to watch her finally break away from Kirk's shadow. Yet, lurking in the background was a ghost Rasheeda hoped she'd never face again. Jasmine Washington. Jasmine wasn't just another woman. She was the woman, the one whose affair with Kirk had left Rasheeda shattered, whose connection to Kirk's alleged secret child nearly destroyed their marriage. For Rasheeda, Jasmine symbolized the deepest wound of all. The public betrayal that played out in front of cameras, fans, and the entire world. So when Rasheeda walked into that courtroom, she expected to face Kirk, the lawyers, and the paperwork. What she didn't expect was for Jasmine to stroll in like she belonged there, uninvited, unbothered, and ready to blow the entire proceeding wide open. Kirk's history of betrayal to understand why Jasmine's sudden appearance was so explosive. You have to rewind. For years, Kirk has been a lightning rod for controversy. From alleged side relationships to secret financial moves, he's managed to turn Rasheeda's loyalty into heartbreak after heartbreak. Fans have watched Rasheeda cry on camera, confront him with evidence, and yet still try to pick up the pieces for the sake of their family. But the Jasmine situation was different. It wasn't just whispers or rumors. It was concrete, it was public, and it was humiliating. When Jasmine came forward with claims tying Kirk to her child, the scandal rocked not just their marriage but the entire Love and Hip Hop community. The fallout left Rasheeda devastated, yet she tried to endure. Fans labeled Kirk the villain, Jasmine the homewrecker, and Rasheeda the long-suffering queen. Still, Rasheeda stayed until she couldn't anymore. The divorce hearing was meant to close the chapter, to seal off years of hurt. The courtroom atmosphere inside the courthouse was electric. Fans and reporters gathered outside, knowing this wasn't just another celebrity divorce, this was the divorce. The one that would finally free Rasheeda from the toxic cycle that defined her storyline for so long. Inside, cameras weren't allowed, but sources described the tension as suffocating. Rasheeda, dressed in muted tones, kept her composure, sat stiffly, avoiding her gaze. Everything seemed set to proceed as expected until the doors opened and Jasmine walked in. The gasps were audible, heads turned. Even the judge reportedly paused for a moment, taken aback by the sight of the woman who had once been at the center of the Frost marriage. Scandal. Why Jasmine's appearance hit harder for Rasheeda. Jasmine's presence was like ripping open an old wound. This wasn't just another adversary. This was the woman who symbolized everything broken about her marriage. And Jasmine didn't walk in timid or apologetic. According to eyewitnesses, she walked with confidence, chin high as if she had every right to be there. And the whispers started immediately. Why is she here? What does she want? That's when the real bombshell dropped. Jasmine hadn't come to spectate. She had come with new information, something that threatened to change not just the course of the hearing, but Rasheeda and Kirk's entire future. The bombshell teased at first. Nobody knew what Jasmine was holding. She clutched a folder, whispered to her attorney, and then requested to address the court. Gasps spread again as the judge allowed her to speak. Even Kirk looked blindsided, his face a mask of panic. Rasheeda's composure cracked for the first time, her eyes widening in disbelief. Sources inside say Jasmine's words sent shockwaves through the courtroom. She didn't just rehash the past. Hey, she dropped something new, a piece of information that left Rasheeda in tears, Kier in silence, and the court scrambling to figure out what to do next. And as shocking as it was, insiders whispered that what Jasmine revealed may only be the beginning, because this wasn't just about divorce anymore. This was about betrayal secrets. And a truth Rasheeda never thought she'd have to face in front of the entire world. The courtroom was supposed to be Rasheeda's battlefield, her chance to finally reclaim her dignity after years of public humiliation at the hands of Kirk Frost. She had walked in prepared for the usual legal documents, back-and-forth arguments, lawyers posturing about assets and custody. But when Jasmine Washington appeared uninvited, unannounced, and unapologetic, the entire atmosphere changed. It's what should have been a straightforward divorce hearing turned into a live spectacle that no one was ready for. The moment Jasmine spoke, Jasmine didn't slink in quietly. She made her presence known. Eyewitnesses claim she strutted to the front row, folder in hand, deliberately locking eyes with Rasheeda. The tension was suffocating. Rasheeda froze, then shook her head in disbelief. Kirk's expression told the story, pure panic. Then Jasmine stood up and asked to address the court. Gasps echoed through the room. One of Rasheeda's lawyers immediately objected, shouting that Jasmine had no legal standing in the case. But Jasmine wasn't fazed. She raised her voice, bold and defiant. I have information that directly affects this marriage, divorce, and what's been hidden from Rasheeda all these years. The judge hesitated, but seeing the frenzy in the room and Kirk's sudden shift from defensive to frantic allowed Jasmine to continue. The first bombshell, Jasmine opened her folder. Inside were what she claimed to be bank statements and messages between her and Kirk. She alleged that even after Rasheeda filed for divorce, Kirk had been secretly funneling money to her, not just for child support, but for silence. She told the court he paid me to stay quiet, to keep certain things from Rasheeda, and I stayed quiet long enough. But since I'm already painted as the villain, why not tell the whole truth? The room, Rasheeda's reaction for Rasheeda, it was the ultimate betrayal. After years of humiliation, after trying to patch up a broken marriage, she was learning in real time in front of lawyers, court officials, and strangers that Kirk had continued his deception even as she prepared to leave him. Sources inside say, Rasheeda whispered to her attorney, I can't take this anymore. He's been lying this whole time. Her tears weren't quiet. They were sobs, the kind of pain that comes from realizing your worst suspicions were not only true, but worse than you imagined. Kirk's desperation, meanwhile, grew frantic. He begged the judge to dismiss Jasmine's claims, accusing her of chasing fame and clout. But his words fell flat. The sight of tangible documents, the timing of Jasmine's arrival, and his visible panic all made him look guilty. One eyewitness claimed Kirk looked like a man caught in a trap. He couldn't even look Rasheeda in the eye. The courtroom was now chaos. Lawyers shouted over each other, reporters tried to sneak glances at the documents, and fans outside the building began live tweeting updates. Within minutes, Hashtags like hashtag Jasmine at the hearing and hashtag RASHEED, a bombshell, trended across social media. People online were divided. Some praised Jasmine for finally telling the truth. Others accused her of being manipulative, waiting for the moment Rasheeda was most vulnerable to twist the knife. But everyone agreed. Rasheeda didn't deserve this level of pain. The first twist, Jasmine's second revelation, when it seemed like Jasmine's bombshell couldn't get any heavier. She dropped a second revelation that left the courtroom stunned. She claimed Kirk hadn't just been secretly paying her off. He had also been in ongoing contact with another woman. A woman Jasmine alleged had a role in Kirk's finances. According to her, Kirk had created a web of lies so deep that even his business dealings were tied to infidelity. The whispers in the courtroom grew louder. Another woman? Another betrayal. Jasmine smirked as she said, Rasheeda's marriage was over years ago. Just didn't know how bad it really was. And now everybody knows. The court erupted again. Rasheeda's attorneys demanded proof. Jasmine waved another stack of papers. And Kirk looked like he was about to collapse. Social media chaos outside the courthouse. Fans live streamed their reactions. Clips of Rasheeda crying were quickly posted online, sparking outrage and heartbreak from supporters. One viral tweet read, "Protect Rasheeda at all costs." Kirk humiliated her for years, and now Jasmine dragged her through this mess too. Instagram blogs like The Shade Room reposted snippets of Jasmine's alleged evidence, with comment sections exploding into debates about whether Jasmine was telling the truth or just playing games. Some fans even speculated Jasmine's appearance had been orchestrated by producers of Love and Hip Hop to create chaos for ratings, whether it was real or staged. The damage to Rasheeda's heart was very real. Rasheeda's breakdown at one point. Rasheeda reportedly stood up and screamed across the courtroom, "I gave you everything. My loyalty, my trust, my years, and you still lied to me." She collapsed back into her chair, sobbing as Kirk sat in silence, unable to defend himself. The courtroom was frozen. Even Jasmine, who had walked in with confidence, looked momentarily shaken by the raw pain she had unleashed. The cliffhanger, but the biggest twist, came at the end of the session, just before the judge called for a recess. Jasmine, gathering her papers, turned to Rasheeda and said one final line that stunned everyone in the room. "This isn't the only secret Kirk's been hiding. And if you think today was bad, wait until you hear what comes next." With that, she walked out of the courtroom, leaving Rasheeda trembling, Kirk pale and silent, and the entire hearing in shambles. What did she mean? What other secrets was Kirk hiding? And why did Jasmine choose this moment to unleash her fury? The courthouse. Recess was supposed to give everyone a chance to breathe, but instead turned into the most chaotic 20 minutes Atlanta had seen in years. Outside, fans screamed Rasheeda's name. Paparazzi shoved cameras in Jasmine's face. And Kirk tried to slip into a black SUV unnoticed, but nothing about this day was going to be quiet. Social media explodes within minutes. Twitter, or X, was on fire. Clips of Rasheeda's tearful outburst inside the courtroom spread like wildfire, racking up hundreds of thousands of views in under an hour. Memes of Kirk looking pale and defeated began circulating with captions like, "This man cooked his own marriage." But the real chaos started when Jasmine went live on Instagram just minutes after leaving the courthouse. In front of nearly 40,000 viewers, she teased, "Y'all think what I said in there was the whole story? Nah, Kirk's got another mess he don't want anybody knowing about. And since he's been playing me, why not tell y'all too?" That live stream went viral. Instantly, clips reposted to blogs, YouTube, and TikTok. The mystery of what Jasmine was hiding next sent fans into a frenzy. Rasheeda in shambles back inside. Rasheeda sat slumped in her chair, her lawyer whispering urgently in her ear. But Rasheeda wasn't listening. She kept replaying Jasmine's last words over and over, another secret, another betrayal. After all these years, she had thought she knew the worst. But clearly, she didn't. Single quotes to her say Rasheeda whispered to her sister on the phone, "If it's another child, he did this to me again, I won't survive it." Her pain wasn't just legal, it was deeply personal. This wasn't just about money or property anymore. This was about her heart, her dignity, and her reputation being shredded in front of the world. Kirk on the defensive. Meanwhile, huddled with his team of attorneys in the hallway, witnesses claim his face was ashen, his voice shaky. One insider overheard him muttering, "She wasn't supposed to have that." Who gave her those files? That one line set off alarm bells. If Jasmine wasn't supposed to have the evidence, she flaunted in court who had slipped it to her. Was there someone on the inside feeding Jasmine intel? Or worse, was another woman involved backing Jasmine to destroy him completely? Kirk's panic only fueled the fire. Outside the courthouse, reporters grilled him with questions. "Mr. Frost, is it true you continued paying Jasmine during your marriage? Is there another woman in the picture? Do you have another child?" Kirk refused to answer, ducking into his SUV as cameras flashed. But his silence only made him look guiltier. Jasmine's shocking reveal then. As if the chaos couldn't escalate further, Jasmine dropped the second bombshell live on Instagram. She claimed Kirk had been secretly involved with someone within Rasheeda's inner circle. The words sent shockwaves through the internet. Fans gasped. Bloggers hit record. Comment sections exploded. Jasmine wouldn't name the person outright, at least not yet. Instead, she smirked into the camera and said, "Rasheeda, you've been sleeping next to the enemy, but the betrayal ain't just coming from Kirk. Check your circle, sweetheart. Somebody close to you been knowing everything, okay? And playing you this whole time." That single revelation turned the scandal into a full-blown circus. Was it a friend? A family member? Another cast member from Love and Hip Hop? Fans immediately started speculating, dragging names into the conversation. Some pointed fingers at Carly Red. Others whispered about long-standing tensions with Kendra. Every guess turned into trending hashtags. The industry reacts. The hip-hop community wasted no time reacting. Cardi B tweeted a single popcorn emoji, fueling speculation. 50 Cent jumped on Instagram with a post saying, "Kirk done messed up again. Somebody get my man a Netflix series. This script too crazy." Even T.I. chimed in, posting, "Atlanta can't take no more of this drama. Y'all need prayer." The scandal had officially spilled beyond Rasheeda and Kirk. It was now a cultural event, the kind of messy, viral chaos that takes over not just reality TV, but mainstream headlines. Rasheeda's public collapse when court resumed. Rasheeda couldn't hold it together. Witnesses say she broke down again, this time sobbing into her hands, as her lawyers begged the judge to restrict Jasmine's statements as irrelevant to the case. But the damage had been done. Everyone in that room knew Rasheeda wasn't just fighting for her marriage anymore. She was fighting to hold on to her sanity. And Jasmine? She sat calmly in the back, a smirk. By the time the sun set on Atlanta, the drama inside that courtroom had already taken on a life of its own. Jasmine's cryptic claim that someone in Rasheeda's inner circle had betrayed her was no longer just a courtroom whisper. It was the internet's newest obsession. Fans go into overdrive. Twitter exploded with speculation threads. Fan detectives combed through old episodes of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, searching for subtle looks, shady comments, or heated arguments that could connect one of Rasheeda's friends to Kirk. Posts went viral. Watch Season 7. Episode 12. Carly's smirk says it all. She'd been knew something. Kendra acting to calm around Rasheeda lately. Maybe she's the mole Jasmine was talking about. What if it's not even a cast member? What if it's family? The hashtags #who betrayed Rasheeda and #Jasmine receipts dominated trends. Instagram gossip blogs reposted every theory, fueling paranoia and dividing fans into teams. Some believed Jasmine, others defended Rasheeda's friends, but everyone agreed the betrayal had to be real. Cast members react inevitably. Rasheeda's castmates started chiming in. Carly Red, often accused of being messy, went live just to clear her name. "Don't drag me into this Jasmine drama. Y'all know I'm crazy, but I don't cross my friends like that. Rasheeda's my sis, period." Young Jock, clearly enjoying the chaos, posted a cryptic laughing emoji with the caption, "Boy, Atlanta, too small for these secrets." Bambi commented under a gossip blog, "I don't believe Jasmine for 1 second. She's desperate for attention." But the damage was already done. Every castmate became a suspect, every friendship questioned, every past argument resurrected as potential proof of betrayal. Celebrities jump in the drama, even pulled in celebrities outside the LHHATL universe. Cardi B commented under a Shade Room post, "I believe Jasmine got something. Kirk always moving funny, 50 Cent. Never one to miss an opportunity to troll." Posted, "Yo Kirk, your circle leaking like a faucet." Tamar Braxton chimed in with a tweet, "This is why you can't let everybody sit at your table. Some people only there to take notes." These reactions only added gasoline to the fire, making Jasmine's claims feel bigger, louder, and more believable. Rasheeda's silence speaks volumes through all of this. Rasheeda remains silent on social media. No posts, no statements, nothing. For fans, that silence was heartbreaking and telling. One viral tweet read, "If Rasheeda ain't clapping back, it's 'cause she knows Jasmine ain't lying. My heart hurts for her." Blogs speculated that Rasheeda's silence meant her lawyers were advising her not to comment, but to fans. It looked like a woman broken, blindsided, not only by her husband, but now by someone she trusted, Kirk's. Desperation online. Meanwhile, Kirk attempted damage control with a poorly worded Instagram post that only made things worse. He wrote, "People will do anything for clout. Don't believe the lies. Stay focused." The comment section ripped him apart. Fans flooded his page with clown emojis demanding answers. "Where the bank receipts at? Kirk, clout. You mean? The same clout you've been chasing since season 1. So you're not denying Jasmine's claim? Interesting." His attempt at denial only made him look guiltier. Industry whispers behind the scenes. Insiders whispered that producers of Love and Not Hip-Hop were ecstatic. Ratings gold. Drama hotter than any scripted soap opera. One leak claimed producers were already working overtime to film reactions. Spin-offs in confessional-style interviews to capture the fallout. But it wasn't just VH1 producers celebrating. Rumors swirled that Jasmine was in talks for a tell-all interview, possibly even a book deal. The narrative wasn't just embarrassing Kirk and Rasheeda. It was transforming Jasmine from villain to whistleblower. Fan division turns nasty. The fan base itself fractured violently. Some defended Jasmine, calling her the truth teller, finally exposing Kirk's lies. Others tore her apart, labeling her a snake who waited until Rasheeda was most vulnerable to twist the knife. Comments grew toxic. "Jasmine is evil. She just lives to see Rasheeda cry. Rasheeda deserves the truth, no matter how messy it is. Jasmine did the right thing." Even fan pages dedicated to Rasheeda started fighting with each other, unfollowing and blocking over disagreements. The drama had gone from the courtroom to the culture itself, tearing communities apart. The cliffhanger, and then, just as fans were drowning in speculation, Jasmine upped the stakes again. Late at night, she posted a single Instagram story, a blurry screenshot of what looked like a FaceTime call. In the corner of the image was Kirk. And beside him, a figure fans swore was a woman Rasheeda had once called a sister. Jasmine captioned it with 3 words, "Tomorrow, the truth." That story disappeared within minutes, but screenshots had already spread like wildfire. The internet froze. If Jasmine really had proof that someone Rasheeda loved had betrayed her, then tomorrow wasn't going to be just another day in court. It was going to be the day Rasheeda's entire world collapsed. The next morning, the courthouse was surrounded by a wall of reporters, fans, and flashing cameras. But everyone wasn't there for the divorce trial anymore. They were there for Jasmine. After her cryptic "check your circle" warning, the world wanted to know who betrayed Rasheeda. The build-up inside the courtroom, the air was thick with tension. Rasheeda walked in looking drained, her eyes swollen from another night of tears. Kirk sat stone-faced, pretending nothing was wrong, but his hands trembled as he flipped through his lawyer's notes. Then Jasmine arrived, dressed in sharp white, almost angelic, as if she wanted to look like the truth-teller rather than the villain. Fans outside screamed her name, holding up signs that read, "Drop the receipts." Everyone knew something monumental was coming. Jasmine's moment when given the chance to speak, Jasmine didn't hesitate. She pulled out her phone, scrolled deliberately, and then projected a series of screenshots onto the courtroom's display screen. Gasps erupted. The first image, the cliffhanger, but Jasmine wasn't finished. As the gavel slammed and court adjourned in chaos, she stood tall and delivered one last dagger. "This is only part one. Next week, I'll show the proof of exactly how deep this betrayal went. And trust me, it ain't just Kirk and Kendra. Rasheeda, the whole game been playing you." With that, she turned and walked out of the courtroom, cameras chasing her every step. Rasheeda collapsed into her sister's arms, sobbing, whispering through tears, "How much more can they take from me?" The answer was unclear, but one thing was certain: this wasn't the end. Jasmine had promised more. And if today's bombshell was just the beginning, then Rasheeda's darkest days were only just starting. And there you have it, a courtroom meltdown so wild it didn't just shake Atlanta, it shook the entire internet. Rasheeda walked into that hearing expecting a divorce battle with Kirk, but she walked out facing the deepest betrayal of her life. Jasmine didn't just drop receipts, she dropped a bomb on Rasheeda's inner circle, and now everyone's wondering, who else has been playing her from the inside? But here's the real question: was Jasmine telling the full truth? Or is she twisting half-truths to break Rasheeda completely? Could Kendra really be part of Kirk's cover-up? Or is Jasmine weaponizing blurred screenshots just to destroy friendships? Fans are split right down the middle, and the only thing certain is that this story is far from over. So now it's your turn. I need to hear from you. Do you believe Jasmine's receipts? Was Kendra secretly working with Kirk? Or is Jasmine just manipulating Rasheeda when she's at her weakest? And here's the ultimate cliffhanger. Jasmine swore this was only part one. So what other dark secrets is she holding back? Drop your theories in the comments right now, because I promise you, the drama is only going to get messier from here. Smash that like button if you think Rasheeda deserves the truth, no matter how painful. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this scandal. Because when Jasmine unleashes her so-called final proof, it could completely destroy Rasheeda's world. Turn on your notifications, because the next bombshell could drop at any second, and trust me, you don't want to be the last to know. This isn't just reality TV anymore. It says betrayal, power, and heartbreak unfolding in real time. And we'll be here to break down every shocking twist.